In 1966, Point Pleasant was just another quiet American town, until whispers began rising from the darkness. Residents began hearing strange sounds, as if something was moving where nothing should be. One witness claimed they saw something above the tree line, something large, silent, and watching. Soon, nearly everyone in town had heard the stories. A creature with wings and glowing red eyes. A young couple reported something following their car, something that stayed just far enough to remain unseen. By the end of that first month, fear had settled over Point Pleasant. No one knew what it was, only that it was getting closer. Deep in the woods, locals reported seeing trees bend, as if something enormous had passed through the dark. They also found strange prints in the mud, too large, too deep, and unlike anything native to the area. And then, the lights returned, the same red glows witnesses had described before. More sightings followed, shadows appearing where no shadow should be. Witnesses spoke of a rushing sound, as if something massive had swept past them in the dark. Several witnesses claimed a shape was seen on the bridge, still, silent, watching the town below. Then came the sound, a high-pitched screech that no one could explain. Drivers reported their engines dying, moments before a figure passed overhead. The power lines shook violently, though there was no wind strong enough to move them. Witnesses described being followed by something they could feel, but never truly see. Some nights, locals reported the old barn shaking, as if something was moving inside. Radios crackled with static, followed by a strange pulsing signal that no one recognized. Witnesses described glowing red orbs hovering above the treetops in total silence. Some reported feeling the ground shake beneath their feet, but no earthquake was ever recorded. One family reported their phone ringing late at night, but when they answered, there was only silence. Residents reported seeing strange distortions on rooftops, as if something stood there, but wasn't truly visible. In the fields, people heard deep vibrations, waves of sound moving through the grass. Witnesses described something hovering in complete silence, too still to be natural. At night, windows rattled for seconds at a time, yet the wind outside was perfectly still. Then, one night, everything went silent. town felt a pressure, as if something massive was drawing near. Whole neighborhoods fell into darkness, as if the power was being drained all at once. Some reported the bridge trembling, though no vehicles were crossing it. Witnesses described a massive shadow hanging over the river, larger than anything they had ever seen. Radio towers began spiking with unexplained surges, as though something massive was disrupting the air itself. Drivers reported a red light following them for miles, always distant, always silent. Emergency sirens began turning on by themselves, even though no one triggered them and no storm was coming. Drivers reported their headlights dying mid-route, as if something was draining the power from the air itself. One witness claimed a massive shape crossed the road, without footsteps and without making a sound. Entire fields were found flattened overnight, as if pressed down by something enormous, yet completely invisible. Drivers from opposite sides of town reported their engines dying at the exact same moment. Many began to feel the air change, a pressure that seemed to pull the world inward. Witnesses reported entire tree lines bending, all pulled in the same direction. Some said the shadows around town began to grow, stretching far taller than they should. Windows suddenly froze over, even though the night wasn't cold enough. Even light itself began to bend, as if the air was no longer behaving normally. By the third month, the red glow was no longer appearing in the woods, but above the town itself. By late November, a pattern began to emerge. The sightings were circling the same place. Months earlier, engineers had raised concerns. The bridge was aging and showing signs of strain. Residents near the river reported feeling a faint rumble, as if the steel itself was straining. It was no longer random. The town had been experiencing warnings for months. Some believe the signs were warnings, but by the time anyone understood, it was already too late. Some claimed they saw a shape above the bridge, something towering, as if watching from the fog. The fog itself seemed to move with intention, as if trying to take form, but never fully becoming anything. Drivers reported a shadow stretching across the road, too large to belong to anything they knew. And the red glow was no longer at the edge of town, but directly above it. Many believe this was the final sign, The last warning before the collapse. In the hours before the collapse, residents said the air grew unusually heavy. That night, witnesses reported hearing a screech in the fog, high, sharp, and unlike any animal. A shadow swept across the river, too large to be anything natural. Dozens reported seeing something near the river that evening, but no two descriptions were ever the same. Hours before the collapse, the bridge began to groan. It began like any ordinary evening, a traffic jam, moments before disaster. Witnesses later said the bridge felt alive, as if the steel itself was warning them. Some claimed they saw a massive shape rising above the bridge just moments before the collapse. At 5:04 p.m., the first fracture occurred. In seconds, the structure gave way. The roadway split apart as steel twisted under impossible strain. One failure triggered the next, and the next, until nothing could hold. 46 lives were lost as the bridge fell into the river below. For a moment, after the final impact, there was only silence. Some said the red glow drifted away, rising into the fog, never to be seen again. Rescue teams searched through fog and twisted steel, hoping to find survivors. Investigators concluded a single eye-bar fracture triggered the collapse. But after the disaster, the sightings stopped. Some believe the sightings weren't an omen of death, but a warning that no one understood in time. And others still wonder what really happened in the months before the collapse.